Hey y'all, Doc here. Thanks for joining me at Whip Tips. This is going to be a quick video on how to remove your fender flares. My fender flares are just old. They've turned gray. I've tried treating them to make them black again, and that didn't really do much. And spray painting them, the paint will peel relatively quickly, even if you do it correctly. So I'm just going to remove them all, and I really like the way the Jeep looks afterward. So maybe later I'll post some pics. But this is just a quick, simple video, how to remove your fender flares. So on to the video. All right, so I'm here in my ultra cramped, ultra messy garage. Here's my 2000 XJ. I am going to do a quick video on how to remove your fender flares. I don't know if I'm going to replace these or not. For the time being, I'm going to put some bolts in here to make it look like it's, intentional. Definitely the stock ones were just, see that gray? They looked old. And I'm going to replace the front bumper eventually too. One of the things that really sucked about this is, as you come back to the rear, and I removed it back here, it looks good, right? All that looks fine. But then I got to the rear fenders, and once I pulled those off, I had to spend a couple hours cutting off rust and sanding it from 80 grit to 400 grit, and then hitting it with a Permatex stop rust treatment. And then I'm going to go over this with some a body panel and some Bondo filler and get that all filled up before I put on armor on the back there. So anyway, that's life with the big XJ. So let's go ahead and show you how this is done, starting with the front fender on the driver's side. All right, so we are looking toward the front of the car, toward the bumper, and this is the first fastener you have to deal with. There are these little, I don't know what you call these little fastener things. They're not bolts. There's like 3 of them. One here at the front, one in the middle up above that I don't know if I'll show you in a second. It's really cramped in here. And then one at the back. And getting them off is difficult. What I usually do is just take a screwdriver and start prying. And I'll kind of show you that now. Sometimes spinning them off actually works, but like this one, it's not spinning off. Whatever Chrysler engineered demon designed these things, really is kind of it's just a pain in the ass more than anything. And I think it's designed to snug the plastic like as far as possible over to one side. So I'm definitely going to save all of these in a plastic bag in case I ever want to put similar flares back on later. Anyway, you keep working on it till that's off. Okay, next you want to separate out. Here's your outer fender flare, and then here's the inner kind of mud guard for your wheel well. You want to find a place where you can kind of get your fingers in and separate those two. And just start pulling. It's pretty flexible. I don't think you're going to break it. Just start pulling till you can get access to that bolt. I don't know if you can see that in there. It's kind of dark. That bolt right there, we just took the fastener off, and I'm going to stick a 10mm ratchet in there and just start loosening that bolt. Probably a good idea to soak these things with penetrating oil. I did not, and so some of mine are probably going to snap because these are pretty thin bolts and they're pretty old, 20 years now. So there you can see I've got my ratchet wrench, and I'm just going to start loosening it. All right, and you're going to do that all along the top. Okay, you've got like 4 or 5 to do. Some of them have those fasteners on them, some of them don't, and you're going to go all the way around the outside until you get to the bottom here. I think there's going to be a little screw poking through the bottom here, and I'll show you that when I get to it. All the rest of these are 10mm nuts, some of which have those star-shaped fasteners. Okay, so I'm on the last one, and it is right under here. I believe it's an 8mm. You just go ahead and Well, it helps if I have it on. Go ahead and spin that off. That's the wrong way. Go ahead and spin that off. It's really hard to do this and hold a camera at the same time. There it is. All right, so now you've got the whole thing off, all the fasteners off. You're just gonna gently pull kind of straight out and then lift up. And this, the outer thing will come off. Sometimes this inner piece of metal that actually holds it to the fender will stay on, and you have to do it separately. This time, both came off at the same time. Just be careful. You don't want to scratch your paint or anything, so do it slowly, gently, carefully. And that's it. That's how you remove the front fender flares onto the rear. So here we are at the rear, and in this case, you got the same screw set up, 10 millimeters. In my case, I don't have any of those fasteners back on this passenger's, on the driver's side for some reason, driver's side rear. There were on the other side, so I don't know what's going on here, but I expect most of these bolts to snap. I did not have time to use penetrating oil, and I don't care. I'm getting rid of these anyway. But if you want to retain these and save these, then definitely, you know, soak in penetrating oil, PB Blaster, whatever, and let it sit and do its job. Anyway, same method here. And then I think there are, in this case, there are going to be 2 screws. One at the bottom here, and I'll give you the size in a second. It's very small. And then, actually no, just that one screw in the front, because this ends here, and then we have to treat the rear fender separately. Anyway, I'll come back when it's done. All right, so here's the last little screw right there. I'm gonna say that's a 1/4 inch. I don't know, it's very small. Anyway, this is a really tough angle, so I'm just gonna undo that, and then that'll be done with the rear fender flare, and we'll move on to the rear quarter, whatever, the rearmost fender on the driver's side. So yeah, it was definitely a 1/4 inch. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get my finger out of the way, and you're just gonna do the same thing with this that you did with the front. Remove it gently and carefully. Oh, I've got one. I forgot to do one right here. Darn it. Okay, I'll be back. And the last one snapped on me. So anyway, here we go. We're just gonna take it off very gently, carefully, and that's it. Now onto this bad boy, and we'll see if there's any rust under there. So this one, you've got 1 screw, and it's right up in a hole, right up in there. I don't know if you can see that, right up in there. And I'm thinking that it's a 1/4 inch, same as the last one we took out. So let me just try and use my 1/4 inch socket, since that's handy. Yeah, that's coming out. Let me just do this. It might be a little easier. There it is. Next, you just pry that out, and then kind of start wriggling it back and forth, up and down. It should come off. It's just held on by some clips. There you go. So those three tabs right there fit in here. So, wow, this looks much better than the other side. I've got no rust. Now, I'm putting on armor, so you don't need to do this, but I've got rivets here that I've got to remove. I'll take a Dremel, and I'll just chew up that rivet head, that one, that one, grind them down until I can just pop that off and then poke the rivets in on the other side. So anyway, that's it. That's how you remove your fenders. All right, y'all, so that's it. I know I promised a pic of what it looked like afterward, but look, it took a lot of work to fix the rust and everything, so I'll get to it. Sometime in a future video, I'll post a pic of what my Jeep looks like now. But anyway, appreciate you watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and tell your friends, spread the word. Doc out. Oh, you made it to the end. That's awesome. Listen, I'm Doc. I'm the one who's, the voice behind these videos. And I really appreciate you taking the time to actually watch the whole thing. That's fantastic. If you've got time, if you want to, if you like the video, hit like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the bell button so you get notified of new videos when I put them up. I'm going to try and do one a week. And I'm going to do a bunch of Instagram stuff, so make sure you follow me there and on Twitter. Instagram's going to be the shorter stuff. I don't have any merchandise yet. I'm planning to as the channel grows. If I succeed, I'll get some merch. For now, if you really want to help me in another way, you like these videos enough, I'm going to put links to my books in the description of the video. I'm a science fiction author in my spare time as well, so I'm juggling a lot of balls. But anyway, I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you at the next one. Hey, do me a favor and turn this junk off. I don't know how to deal with tech.